Good afternoon. Welcome to weekly live conversations with Jessica Dawn Coaching. I am Jessica from Jessica Dawn Coaching, and this week the theme that we've been posting about is intergenerational trauma. So trauma and how generations of it impact future generations, and is it possible to stop those patterns? The first thing that I want to do is read to you what the definition of intergenerational trauma is. So I'm just going to be looking down below so that I can get all the correct terminology for you. Intergenerational trauma is the psychological effects that the collective trauma experienced by a group of people has on subsequent generations in that group. Any family can be impacted by intergenerational trauma. Traumatic events that may lead to intergenerational trauma include parental incarceration, divorce, alcohol and drug use disorder, domestic violence, child abuse. Example, sexual, physical, or emotional, or even natural disasters. So one of the most common ones that we know about, especially here in Canada, is the residential school intergenerational trauma and how that impacts generations that come afterwards. Holocaust survivors, their families also have a lot of impact that is not fully understood yet. So when it comes to the conversation that I'm having here, this is a big subject, and I'm not going to be able to cover it all, especially not in these brief lives that I do. But what I do want to talk about is how to begin to explore where your own patterns and potential trauma, if you've got trauma, come from, right? There are elements in. Oh no, I think I have to sneeze. Maybe if I speak it, is it going to help me avoid it? Maybe. I lost my train of thought. So when we're doing shadow work, so I want to link it into the shadow work that I do with my clients. A lot of the time, what shows up in shadow work is inner child work. And when we're working with inner child work, we begin to understand the patterns that we've woven into our beings over the course of our lifetimes and how they originated at a very young age. Oftentimes learned from unsafe situations that we've been in as children that we're completely unconscious of. So when we do the inner child work and we begin to dig into those core experiences and see how that brilliant child unconscious mind put together a series of behaviors and patterns, it's really amazing to see how we can then pass that on to our own children, or how even our own parents pass that on to us. When we begin to uncover those patterns of the generational trauma, we're not beholden to them. We can begin to untangle what is taking place within us so that when we heal, we can pass that healing on as well, right? So we're not beholden to the trauma. It is there, but just as trauma can be passed on, so can healing. There's a really great book that I want to recommend to each of you. It is called It Didn't Start With You by Mark Wolin. Also available on audiobook. It really unpacks very clearly how events that aren't healed in the family can get passed on through parents to children, grandparents to grandchildren, even uncles, right? And how big events in families have this echo that passes on, and that echo will move throughout the family dynamic until someone is ready to say, okay, this echo stops with me. I'm taking the time to heal it. I recommend that book to get you acquainted with the whole concept of what it's like to experience something that may not necessarily be yours. This might feel like, oh no, like, is this a curse? If you want to call it that, sure. that's a whole other kettle of fish, but it is something, if we look into just the biblical version of it, sins of the father. I'm not a big Bible reader, but there is this concept of the sins of the father will be passed on to the children. And it's not necessarily the sins, but it is the things that we choose to not heal, we can pass on to our children or our grandchildren. And so if that's not a really great reason to take your own healing by the horns, I don't know what is. I know, having raised two now adult kids, and seeing my own wounds show up in their experiences has been really challenging. And that has been one of the things that's catalyzed me to do my own healing. And when your children observe you going through a healing process, whether it's therapy or, whatever you choose to do, they get the unconscious or really conscious message that it's okay for them to also, number one, ask for help and undo patterns, right? And so these patterns may be woven into family secrets as well. So if you are aware of any family secrets and someone in your family is willing to talk about them, that can also help you unpack what it is that you're dealing with. So I would love to know how this lands. Pop your comments down below. Let's see if we can have a chat about it. Are you aware of any secrets that were in your family that you uncovered and were able to create a healing from for your own family? Maybe one day I'll talk about how that showed up in my own, but not for this Wednesday. I'll reserve that for another one. Maybe I'll write about it. I want to wish you all a really great day. The other thing, big full moon in Leo today. It is fiery, really fiery. This is like all the things, talking about trauma, all the things that you're not wanting to pay attention to, it is showing up. And this moon is like, I'm going to shine my light on all of the discomfort. So take the time today to allow yourself the space to process that discomfort. If you want to share about what might be showing up for you, again, I welcome you to pop that into the comments below. This group is a safe space, all respectful, and let's see if we can all support each other. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the full moon. Bye for now.